Hey gang, what's happening? It's Jay. I'm out in the woods today, and I put out a poll earlier today asking you guys what kind of a video you wanted to see today. Whether it was a chest rigs and plate carriers, battle belts, a kind of just a rant or whatnot, or a setting up a overnight position or a remain overnight. So you guys spoke and you guys told me you wanted a remain overnight or an just an overnight position. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that set up. You guys follow along, watch, and then we'll kind of talk about it at the end. It's kind of easier to talk about it after it's done than while doing it. So we'll do a walkthrough then. All right. So stay tuned. Should be fun. Thanks. Right, gang, thanks for being bored and following along with that. It's not the sexiest thing in the world to build a overnight setup, but if done right, should may take maybe 5-10 minutes. That's about it. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this around, and then we'll kind of walk through it, and I'll point a few things out as far as what I would like to, what I want to see when I do this. All right, gang, hopefully you can hear me. So when I was going through putting this together, you can use any kind of a tarp, poncho setup, whatever your preference is. I like using either my poncho or I like using one of the British Basha setups here. So just something that's, whether it's 5x7 or 7x9. I believe this one is 7x9 if I remember correctly. The camel pattern, it's the British DPM. I like that a lot for my area. Some of the things that you'll notice is I have my jungle knots extending out from it. I like doing jungle knots on the corners of the Basha, just because it does help facilitate with setting it up, especially with doing it in different ways. And you have something to hook your bungees to if you are much further away than what you would normally like to be, because you don't always get your choice for what it is that you want, right? And then you can see here, so I used bungees on the other one, and on this corner here with the jungle knots, that knot just passes right through your loop that you've already tied and just seals itself right off. So when you pull on it, it's nice and tight, but it's easy to undo when you need to get out of Dodge, right? So we have that corner, we have that corner there, we have that corner there, and then we have this corner here. Now when we look inside here, what you're gonna see is, so I really just have your basic foam pad set up, right? Hold on a second here. So inside, let's climb in. you don't need a lot of space. You don't need this big towering thing over your head. So in here, I have a pad. Now, a lot of guys are going to be like, whoa, wait a second, Jay, what about an inflatable pad? What about a, one of the fancier Thermarests or climate pads or whatnot? Well, the problem with that is if you look on the ground is going to be like all your sticks, all your debris that's underneath, plus not to mention the time, so the time aspect of blowing it up, deflating it, especially if you got to pack up and get out of Dodge really quick. So I just use my shooting mats here for my pad. I know it's durable, I know it's water resistant, it's comfortable enough to sleep on. It gets the job done, okay? And then I have this specific setup. I just have a lightweight waterproof breathable bivy sack, and then I have my GI patrol bag in here. So that for me, and you guys know from following me, I spend a lot of time out in the woods, a lot of overnighters. I try to push myself to see what my comfort level is and what I can get away with and how much suck I'm willing to embrace. And I'll tell you what, that green patrol bag with the bivy sack, I'm good to about 25 or 30 degrees. That's just me, and that's without a fire. So I'm good with that. If some nights it gets a little bit colder, you throw your poncho liner or your whoopee in there, or maybe you throw on your whoopee hoodie, or put your swagman roll in there, whatever it may be, to help beef that up. Long underwear, socks, patrol hats, stuff like that. And then I keep my pack right next to it, and the pack is ready to go. So it's packed, ready to go. I don't have shit laying out everywhere. You want to maintain a clean site. So I think that's really important. Plus, I think it's important to be able to see out. So we have all 4 areas that you can see out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you have a full field of view of your surroundings. So especially if there's 2 or 3 of you, you can set up, depending upon how you're doing your shifts for somebody keeping watch. You have your outline areas for being able to keep an eye on. And I think that's really important. Plus, not to mention the fact that you have multiple avenues of escape, which hopefully when you've done your patrol, you have circled back on yourself to be able to see exactly what it is that you can, what's the word I want to look for? That you have all your multiple routes of egress there, or your multiple escape routes there. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure that you do is you need to set up some sort of in fact, we're going to zero in on this one right here, some sort of perimeter alarms, right? So here I have this is just a cheapie. It was $1 at the dollar store. I painted it up and attached it to a stake. You can see I have fishing line attached to it. So I have this set up for my perimeter so that it's an early warning signal. Normally I'd have it much further out, but this, for demonstration purposes, we're right there. But this way, and it's on, so if somebody trips this coming towards your camp, there is your audible early warning system that somebody has crossed the perimeter there. Now, another thing that you can do, and this is important stuff, I think, because these are things that you need to do to ensure your safety. Now, we have another one set up here. Another type of early warning setup you can do here is you can use like a smoke grenade, okay? Some sort of a tree or a stake or however you want to do it. There's multiple ways of doing it. Tie it to your fishing line or your tripwire, and then this way you put this in areas that are maybe 100 yards, 200 yards from your camp, and especially during the day for visibility, because you're not going to see this at night, but you could use like IR glow sticks for that at night too, in the right kind of configuration. But you put these in, like on game trails or on roads or anywhere that is like an easier area to get into a couple 100 yards out from camp. And this is a signal that you're going to be able to pick up when it gets tripped off. You can color code it where you have red on the south side, you have green on the east, yellow on the west. North can be purple. You can set it up however you want to. So that's a great way to go for another type of perimeter alarm for setting up for your overnight system. So really, guys, that's all I got for you. That is how I set up an overnight position. It may not be the best way. It may not be tactically correct. I don't know what the word for it would be. But I think by starting to practice with stuff like this and really starting to get out and build comfort in how you're setting yourself up for an overnight. Do it with your buddies. Do it in the rain. Do it in the cold, the snow, the heat of summer, whatever it may be. It's fall right now. It's super crunchy out. It's not easy to be quiet. So, learning not just setting up an observation post or a overnight position, but utilizing it, using it, and then maybe hang out in it, spend a night in it and pay attention to the sounds that you hear, what you see, so on and so forth. And it's amazing how much you learn by doing that, because truly, get out in the field and do it, put your gear to work, and have at it. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for following along. Hopefully you picked up a nugget or two of information. I know it's something that I've been practicing a lot and really putting to use, because practice makes perfect, or at least it should. So anyways, that's all I got. So guys, thanks for following along on the afternoon out in the woods, and we'll touch base soon. Thanks. Bye.